A girl, Christina from the hostel, showed me her photos after visiting the monkeys at Shoshan Monkey Mountains in Kaohsiung. And I thought, oh, they look cute. I think I'll go get some clips for YouTube too. I got more than that. I got a plan to survive when I get fired. The stifling Taiwan humidity clung to my skin, making it hard to breathe as I trudge up the mountain, my mind racing with worries about the looming layoffs. I'm expecting it at this point. Microsoft just laid off 3% or 6,000 people a week ago on May 13th. The development and progress of AI is growing at an extraordinary pace. And I know myself. I'm not a rock star software engineer. I'm just average. To get to Shaoshan Monkey Mountain, one traverses through small alleys and side streets. And on the way, I noticed construction workers fixing the temple. An observation I made while in Taiwan is that there were a lot of Taiwanese blue-collared workers in Taiwan. A stark difference from those of us who live in the US of A, where society looks down on blue-collared worker, thinking it should be left for the Mexicans or illegal immigrants. It's been on my mind as I suffered through the Taiwan humidity in search of these darn elusive monkeys. I'm that darn American, even though I don't have citizenship in this country and I can't vote, that would hate to do back-breaking labor. The labor that I think only the Mexicans readily do. I don't have rock solid facts, but just a nagging feeling that the next 12 to 24 months will see even more layoffs in the tech industry, which I'm a part of. And it makes me anxious and nervous to know that I'm average, and with the shrinking tech sector, I'd have to switch fields when I get my notice. Competition is too high. As I continued the hike 1 kilometer deep into the mountains and rounded a corner, I found the monkeys.
Oh, there they are.
FYI, the monkeys at Shoshan are Formosan rock macaques, and they share 93% of their DNAs with us humans. The only difference is that they're self-reliant. They're wild animals and can live off the forest by stealing whatever food any dumb hiker was dumb enough to bring up the mountain. Hiking up and down the mountain, you see a lot of elderly. If they're anything like my parents, and my bets are they are out hiking while living off government pension. I did the research and they get about 6,000 Taiwan dollars or 171 US dollars a month max, which is good living in Taiwan. That made me think, the difference between humans and monkeys. We rely on the government, to which I don't trust at all, while monkeys rely on themselves. Taiwan, like many other Asian countries, is facing population decline. There aren't enough babies to replace the elderly, which means somewhere down the line the government won't have the money to take care of their elderly. And I'm typically optimistic, but in this scenario, I just think a lot of elderly are going to get wrecked in the coming years. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Thinking about the worst case scenario, the one where I get canned, I ended up at the zoo. The crazy thing about the zoo in Kaohsiung is that it's literally self-ran, like you pay for an entry ticket with your bus pass. Things are very automated and high-tech. I don't know if this automation is valuable though. At least back home, you actually have humans at customer service that you can walk up to and talk to. Here, you find the giant map, look where you want to go, look for the gibbons, the sad monkey wishing she was in the jungle, lions, camels, emus, and not see another human on sight. I think it's kind of sad. However, the lack of human resources makes sense after you saw how much I paid for entry, 40 Taiwan dollars or $1.35 US dollars. This shindig is hemorrhaging money, or it's supported by the government. That only means that being a zookeeper means a very demanding job with little to no pay, which is a stark difference compared to people that work for the Taiwan Railway. It's a travel day from Kaohsiung back to Taipei, as I'll have a flight to visit Hong Kong in 3 days. The best way back is via the high-speed rail. Driving would take 4 hours and the HSR takes about 2 hours. Quick note, don't ever drive or rent a car if you're from a Western nation. A couple of days back, I rented a car to explore Sun Moon Lake, and I'll discover a week from now that I will be fined 60 US dollars for speeding. Places like the USA and Canada don't crack down on speeding as much, but here in Taiwan, they have a stick up their ass about it. Let that be a warning. That said, the HSR was fucking expensive. 1,445 Taiwan dollars. I want to drop the lesson for my future kids. While on vacations, don't be cheap, just spend the money. But still, that was a tough cost to stomach. If you ever visit Taiwan, you can tell that railway employees are paid well, because visit any train station and you can always find customer service or help from a human. Railway workers make bank around 1 million Taiwan dollars or 33k USD, which is good for Taiwan. That's the difference between paying your employees a living wage. At the zoo, there's literally no one, but at the railway, it's stuffed to the brim like anchovies in a tin can. And luckily for the Taiwanese, there doesn't seem to be any initiative to incorporate AI into everything like there is in USA. So these employees can keep that sense of job security for now. If you live in the West like USA or Canada, let's be honest, there's fear about job security everywhere right now. And for most foreigners, they want to be here because the exchange rate between US dollars and other currencies is generally so good. Like earning USD and spending in pesos or baht, you feel like a king. But that's all that most foreigners see. As a for-profit nation that puts money first over people, because that's what we are, we're quicker to move on AI and robotics that'll work for us 24/7 without breaks or holidays. And as a result, the American dream that both middle-class Americans and immigrants dream for, it's going to remain a dream. The job market is hideous, people aren't getting jobs, even though unemployment numbers are great right now. That doesn't seem to be the case in Taiwan, especially everywhere I go, from the railway to the hostel at Meander to the beef noodle restaurant, everywhere seems to employ human labor. Like even the dumplings that were handmade fresh. That's not a thing in USA. Usually they're frozen. So now that I'm back stateside, my highest priority goal now is to find a business model that would trend across generations. I don't have job security over here in the USA anymore with AI replacing everything, unlike in Taiwan, where they still very much depend on man labor. So while I was on my way back to Taipei, I was sitting next to this guy with some heavy acne scarring on his face, and I taken that as kind of like a hint from God that this is where I should be going in my direction. So what I did is I built this app called TFUEL, so you can actually test it right now. I'm looking for testers to help me test the app, and it allows you to take a selfie and it'll give you an analysis of your skin and anything you need to do, whether it's routines or products you need to use or some things in your diet that you need to change. So check it out in the link below, join our Discord, and tell me how you like the app if you want to try it. With my days in Taiwan coming to an end, I decided to hit up Elephant Mountain that I missed when I first landed. I intended for this trip to be a trip where I can introvert, but I later met new friends that I learned were unfireable. Elephant Mountain has no monkeys and no elephants, but I wanted to get some drone shots of the city and thought Elephant Mountain would be a great place. The Shangshan literally translates to Elephant Mountain. Hiking trail is accessible by bus, and as you approach the entrance, you'll come across a temple with some very active monks. Start hiking up the trail, and on the first fork of the road, you'll come across a very helpful gentleman that tells you that one side is steeper but shorter in duration, and the other is shallower but longer in duration. Regardless of what language you can or cannot speak, he will talk to you. A polite 谢谢 seems to be the toll. As usual, the mountain is full of old fit people. It really seems to me that as soon as you hit your 60s, all old people do is work out, which they don't do in their 30s to 50s. The trail's difficulty is moderate and there is some elevation, so do be ready to gasp for air. Gasping and complaining to myself from the humidity of this hike, I made some friends because one of them also had a drone and was looking to fly. Taiwan's drone policy, like the speeding policy, is incredibly strict, so if you're flying a drone, be sure to get a license beforehand, or if you go a little bit further into the hike, you should be able to find a place to lift off like I did without a license. 왼쪽 팔에 잠이 든 널 깨우고 싶지 않아. I was only able to get my drone up thanks to Oliver, the French white guy, as he had the fly zones all downloaded and ready to go. He was visiting with his Taiwanese friend Dredd and his Peruvian friend that I never got the name of. They were all surfers, and I learned as we all visited Taipei 101 that Oliver was a private chef to a billionaire or something. I don't think he can get easily fired unless he poisons his client or something. And Dredd runs an inn on a ski resort in Japan and was visiting because it was off season. It really made me think about how wealthy their lives are. And there I am, a software engineer with a 6-figure US dollar salary. And then there's these guys who aren't likely doing the same numbers. Maybe Oliver is. I don't know how much private chefs make, but they get to spend half the year traveling and having fun. Who's really the wealthy one here? As we arrived at the top of Taipei 101, we discovered that the observatory costs 600 Taiwan dollars, or $20 USD, and 3,000 Taiwan dollars, $100 USD, to walk the sky deck. We all decided that it was highway robbery, so we ditched and decided to look for lunch after a long hike. Kids, I think it's decisions like these which decides whether you're gonna be wealthy or broke. The $50 train ticket was a need. I needed to get back to Taipei to catch my flight. But $100 to walk around a patio, that's a desire, and that's a pretty dumb one at that. As I prepared to leave Taiwan after my 2-week adventure, a sense of relief washed over me like the rivers of scooters that awash the country. I guess I just want to make clear to you that I'm still struggling, hustling, and I don't have it all together. Even though I might look like I have it all together on the outside, there are job insecurities, food and shelter insecurities that everybody faces back home. But those same insecurities are also shared here. And like everyone else, there are things that I want that I don't have right now that I'm working towards, and hopefully I'm going in the right direction. But right now I realized I am where I need to be, and that no matter what happens, I know that humans are full of ingenuity, creativity, and cleverness. It's just a matter of stepping up and tapping into that. And when you do, you're going to survive and thrive.